A storm was brewing outside the Pizzaplex. The weather forecast had warned of it a week in advance. It was a monsoon that would stop anything from functioning properly for days. Emergency shelters had been called and prepared. Emergency storm insurances were made quickly. And everyone was raiding their local stores to have as much instant and canned food as possible. You yourself, however, weren't among them. You had a different plan entirely. The Pizzaplex. Yes, the Fazbear Entertainment Mega Pizzaplex, biggest and most glamorous franchise of the pizza conglomerate. That must be the safest place on Earth right now. The Pizzaplex had a top-of-the-line quarantine system that was most certainly spared from the rain. You had made your preparations. Your planning. You'll be spending the entire monsoon there. On the day of the storm, a small group of people had gathered at the entrance. Seems like you weren't the only one thinking about it. Fazbear had strict rules about staying open, and they most certainly would have human staff present. It was similar to a Waffle House, just with more pizzas. An employee approached your group with a very obviously forced smile. "I assume shelter?" he asked. The group nodded. "We're technically not allowed to have anyone stay overnight, but I guess with the current happenings outside, we can make an arrangement." The guy went through a tablet he carried. He was obviously security. After a minute or two of him tapping away, and the small group slowly getting anxious, he spoke up again. "There are no VIP reservations for the rest of the month, so I'll see if we can set up your sleeping bags there. Boss should be showing up any minute. I explained the rules of the situation." He then looked up from his tablet, again with that fake smile of his. "The Pizzaplex will go into lockdown in 50 minutes. You're free to leave and deal with any matters. It's still open. Other than that, well, you're welcome. All attractions are open for you for the regular price." Some people in the group groaned, probably hoping for a discount because of the situation. The others were quick to point out that Fazbear Entertainment was under no obligation to house anyone. For now, however, you were all stuck in the lobby, waiting for the owner to arrive to discuss the arrangements. He arrived 4 minutes before lockdown. He was dressed in a quite elegant suit. And while the Pizzaplex closed the shutters, he stepped on a crate to make the announcement. The VIP lounge would be the sleeping area as discussed. It was a relatively small area atop the atrium, just below the security office. It had a small bar, which for this was emptied. Its interior was held in warm, soft orange and blue colors. The place didn't even have staff pods, genuine human staff. That, however, was currently somewhere else due to what was happening outside. Practically speaking, the VIP lounge really was just a sleeping area now. After signing a few papers, you and the rest of the refuge seekers were let loose in the Pizzaplex. It was a day of fun and activity, really. Due to the situation, there was no one snatching away any tickets or taking control of arcade machines. It felt like a rented-out birthday party, if anything. Most, if not all, had forgotten the ongoing storm outside rather quickly. It was 11 PM, however, when the reality of the outside came crashing down once again, as the Pizzaplex turned from day to night. Everyone was shooed into the VIP lounge to ensure a safe and uninterrupted night. Something you didn't participate in. While everyone was settling in for the night, While everyone was settling in for the night, you just couldn't sleep yet. You were an insomniac, and the time you spent sleeping was not only almost impossible to achieve, but also didn't follow the hours given by the Pizzaplex. If you tried really hard, you could maybe fall asleep at around 8 in the morning and sleep until 12 p.m. It required a lot of medication and energy drinks to keep your internals going. Your stomach lining was probably already like that of a 70-year-old from all the sour drinks you consumed. So after everyone had fallen asleep, or at least asleep enough, you had gotten up. Opening the door to the lounge, you looked around. No one was there. And so you stepped outside. The Plex was different at night, that was for sure. While most lights were left on, just enough were turned off to give the place an eerie liminal feeling. With all the machines turned off, the smell of popcorn, pizza, snacks, and plastic was now replaced by the oppressive, almost moist, artificial scent of an empty warehouse. Even this deep into the Pizzaplex's bowels, you could hear the storm outside. Hard to believe this would last 2 days. You suddenly stopped in your exploration. You heard voices. They weren't approaching you. They were standing still. I still can't believe you actually had the balls to ask out the boss's daughter on a date, Brian. The other chuckled. What can I say? She's pretty cool. And I don't think I'll get fired for it. That was the voice of the guy from earlier. Maybe he was important after all. The two continued the conversation, but they were getting quieter, so they were leaving. Good for you. You were treating this like you were a captive, even though technically you were not, but not disrupt nighttime activities. That did sound serious. As you entered Rockstar Row, you glanced at the animatronics green rooms. And to your surprise, they were still doing regular routines. You knew from an online trivia page that they had randomly generated solo interactions with the environment to ensure a more lifelike experience. But to your surprise, they even did that when no one was around. Fascinating. And surprisingly immersive. After robotics really spared no expense. Next, you wandered into Gator Golf. And once again, you were surprised. The music was still on. And there were just enough lights so that you could probably play a round or two. You grinned, biting your lip. You really shouldn't. But your feet were already carrying you away to the golf counter. However, just as your hand took hold of one of the clubs, the lights of the Pizzaplex shut off with a loud clong, and you shrieked, jumping back. Did they run out of juice? Oh god, that would be terrible. Slowly you got up on your feet. No, there were still some lights, emergency lights, and a few decorative ones. This must have been planned. You stubbed your toe on a stair step. Wincing, you fell forward. Okay. This wasn't good. It was too dark. Biting the sour apple, you fell forward on all fours, simping and crawling forward. Slowly feeling your way around. When suddenly, a metallic voice echoed right behind you. Naughty, naughty. You were grabbed by your shoulders and aggressively turned on your back. 2 red glowing eyes staring you down. It's past your bedtime. Wait, was that the daycare attendant? He put his arms around your shoulders and lifted you up like a child. No. You're too big to be a child. What are you doing here? The Pizzaplex is closed. Are you an intruder? He repeatedly tapped your chest with a finger like an accusatory parent. Intruders are not allowed. I should ban you from the deck. He looked around.
Wait, we aren't in the daycare.
After a moment of hesitation, where you almost just turned around and left, he raised a finger.
Yes, I shall escort you to my daycare just this instant, so I can ban you from it properly.
I really don't have the time or the nerves for that. The daycare attendant had rotated upside down.
Huh? But you broke the rules.
Of your daycare. We aren't in the daycare. You said it yourself. How you managed to stay this calm was a mystery to you. Maybe you actually kind of enjoyed this interaction. The robot grabbed hold of his face as he groaned, throwing a fit.
But you should be here. Maybe I should just call.
You acted quickly, as he was about to throw a fit and call security, which again brought you back to don't disturb the nighttime protocols, which you took serious. Him being outside the daycare probably was protocol, though. So you took his hand in yours, gently placing it on your shoulder to make him calm down. He was quickly losing his patience.
Hang on a second. Why don't I play along with your nap time?
His head spun upside down.
Go on.
You don't call security, and I pretend like I'm a child, ready for nap time, and we both win. The animatronic scratched his head. Clearly he wasn't built for imagination. The attendant's hand then tightly gripped your wrist.
Then come with me, you wretched brat. It's past your bedtime.
You surrendered to the machine with a reluctant sigh as you were dragged by your arm. He pulled you through a couple back rooms. They, too, were entirely dark except for some red emergency ones, which the robot skillfully dodged. Whatever this part of the daycare attendant was, probably activated during the dark. So yeah, he definitely needed to dodge that. Finally, he pushed you down the slide into Rockstar Daycare. You could just barely get your bearings as you climbed out of the ball pit, before you once again grabbed by your arm. He made you stop in the middle of the play area. Okay, what now? He booped your nose aggressively with a finger before hissing.
Now you take a nap.
On the floor? The animatronic took a step back. The ground on the daycare was a soft rubber, but, you know, still a little too hard to sleep on.
Right.
He quickly ran past you. Losing sight of him, you sat down. You just had to explore the pizzaplex at night, hadn't you? Quietly you groaned.
Ha! Found it!
He shouted from somewhere. Barely audible, seconds later, he ran back to your side with a big bundle of blankets in his arms.
We seem to be out of sleeping bags. I wonder where they are. But regardless, I chose some blankets. They should work fine as well.
He swiftly placed down 3 layers of thin Fazbear brand blankets to form a makeshift mattress. He threw a pillow down before holding up a Roxy blankie that was half your size. The robot shook his head into the direction of the little sleeping place. You sighed painfully.
This isn't fun for me too, brat. Go, lie down.
The robot was lying. This was the best thing that ever happened to him. Moon was incredibly excited, and he wanted nothing more than to put the blanket on you and tell you good night. You hesitated before giving in. You got on all fours, crawled on top the makeshift bed, and lied down on your side.
Good,
hushed the robot, then pretended to look at the wristwatch, narrowing his eyes. What you didn't know was that the pizzaplex at night would occasionally have a scheduled blackout, during which power was rerouted to the Fazbear charging stations, to ensure the batteries were full, so that animatronics during the day could quickly rest there. He had 50 minutes of nap time left. Your eyes met the daycare attendants.
I told you sleep,
he ordered. I can't, he finally said.
Naughty children deserve to be punished, he growled back at you,
before climbing on top of you. Its face only inches away. Wait, was he going to punch you?
You better sleep, or you're banned from my daycare.
You finally put one and one together. This little guy really wasn't programmed all too well, was he? So you smirked. Nope, I don't feel tired at all.
So it's tiredness you need to feel. I understand.
He grabbed you and turned you on your back. His long fingers now going down from your shoulders to your lower back. Wait. Your eyes widened. What was he? At around your hip, his hands moved up again. This didn't feel like a massage that he was giving you. His touches were too gentle for that.
I'm going to make you tired then.
His fingers took hold of your waistband, swiftly pulling down your pants. You should stop him, but his hands now needed your lower cheeks. It felt super nice. And you groaned into your pillow. His thumbs mercilessly buried into your skin, sending electric jolts throughout your entire being. You gasped in pleasure. And then, taking that as the okay, Moon took hold of your underwear.
When I'm done with you, you will be tired and cozy, and you'll sleep like a little angel.
Oh God, I hope so. You groaned. You woke hours later. It was 8 a.m. Confused and a little groggy, you looked around. Wait, you were in the VIP lounge? Or more, still in the VIP lounge? Blinking, you looked down at your sleeping bag. On a chair you had used as a nightstand stood a half-empty cup of Fizzy Fast Energy Exotic Edition. Holy crap, was all you could say. It felt great. It felt real, yeah. You definitely order more of these before bed in the future. Thank you to the people who are supporting me on Ko-fi. You guys are keeping me alive.